Have you ever hired an attorney and found that they're not responsive to you? You make phone call after phone call, you leave message after message, and they don't call you back. Well, today, inside this video, we're going to talk about expectations with respect to attorneys and having them get back to you or take your calls or respond to your emails. Hi, my name is Peter Lamont. I'm a business attorney and the host of UTL Radio. And today we're going to talk a little bit about expectations when hiring an attorney concerning returning telephone calls, being available to speak to you, and responses to email. Now, as an attorney for many years, I've seen and heard many complaints from people who come into our office looking to retain us, wanting to leave their present attorney. And one of the main reasons that people want to leave is because they don't feel like their attorney is taking them seriously. They're not giving them time on the phone. They're not returning their phone calls. And that's really, if you even just search on the internet, do a Google search, a lot of the complaints concerning attorneys, it's not necessarily results that people are unhappy with. It's the fact that they can't get the attorney to call them back. So let's talk about this for a second. And this is kind of important to understand because there is a line between having too much expectation as a client and not being responsive enough to your client as an attorney. And you guys have to look at your own situation and find out what works best for you, where you feel comfortable. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do and see if that makes sense to you. So first of all, clients in general, regardless of the attorney that you hire, have to understand that in order for attorneys to stay in business, they need to have obviously more than one client. And in having more than one client, obviously their day, their time gets spread out over numerous matters or cases. And so for those clients who expect that an attorney is going to be able to just kind of be on standby, ready to respond to them, that's unrealistic. I think that with today's modern technology, Skype, cell phones, text messaging, email, we live in this instantaneous society where we have these expectations that if I text somebody, they're going to text me right back, or if I email them, everybody's got their phones, sort of hardwired to their brain, and they're going to just respond immediately. So having too great an expectation of your attorney's availability will obviously just lead to frustration on your part. So that's the one end of the spectrum. Now, the other end of the spectrum is that there are a large number of attorneys out there who just don't return calls. And I think that that's reprehensible because an attorney is supposed to be helping you, the client, representing you and your interests. And if he or she is not going to call you back, and I'm not talking about, you call at 9 o'clock in the morning and they don't call you back until 5 o'clock at night. That's understandable when you've got a day where you might be in court with other clients, that sort of thing. Even if you were to call 4 o'clock at night and not get somebody, but they call you back the next day, that's also sort of reasonable. But what's unreasonable is if you're calling your attorney, leaving messages, and they don't call you back for days. That's not right. If you send an email and you don't get a response at all, not even I'm with a client, I'll email you tomorrow. If you don't get anything like that, that's also a problem. So where is the middle ground? What is acceptable? What makes sense? And how do you know whether or not your attorney is taking your case seriously? Well, we have instituted a 24-hour return call or email policy, and we stick to that. So, I think that you'd want to ask an attorney, what kind of policy do you have concerning telephone calls, emails, text messaging if they allow it, and let them tell you. When clients ask us, what we tell them is we have a 24-hour return call policy. If you call at 4 o'clock on a Monday, by 4 o'clock on Tuesday, you'll have a response. And we stick to that. And most often, it's just the nature of our practice. Most often, if we get an email we'll shoot somebody a response. If we get a phone call, we're calling them back within hours. But there are days where that can't happen. If you're on trial for a week, if you're at deposition, if you're in court. And so, to expect that an attorney is going to be able to pick your call up, not, immediately, not reasonable. But again, 2 days go by and you don't have a call back. That's also not reasonable. So to sum it up, what I would suggest is that when you hire an attorney, you absolutely ask them, what is your return call policy? How important am I as a client to you? If I call you or email you, how long will it generally take you to get back to me? I think that's a fair question to ask. Then I think you need to just understand that, if somebody's not calling you back the same day, don't automatically think that they're not interested in your case, that they're not helping you. Give it a day or so. And then obviously if you don't have somebody calling you back and 2 days have gone by, well, that's a different story. You might want to reassess whether or not the attorney is right for you. But it just, I don't want to see people who are hiring lawyers jump the gun. And I've seen that a lot because people are just so, have such high expectations of instantaneous gratification. Well, I texted you at 9 and now it's 9:30 and I haven't heard back from you. So understand how, the attorney's workday is, where they can't always respond to you, but also be mindful that if days are going by and you're not hearing a response, you should reconsider, your choice in attorney. Well, I hope this helped explain a little bit. I mean, we get a lot of questions about this, and when I sit down and explain our return call policy to people, they have a clear expectation of when they're going to hear back from us. And, we've had great success with it because I think as long as you're honest with people and tell them, listen, 24-hour return call policy, they get it, and that makes sense. So let me know if you've got additional questions about this or expectations in general concerning your attorney. And, I'd be happy to address your concerns directly or give you some input or my opinion. You can do that by calling me at 973-949-3770 or email me at plamont@peterlamontesq.com. Please don't forget to leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you enjoy the video and that it's helpful to you. And any other suggestions you have or topics you'd like me to do a video about, please put it in the comments and I'll do so. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.